Welcome. Here we're going to talk just a little bit defining what ratios are. So ratios, we use this word, maybe this is a word you've heard before in the past, maybe you know what it is and maybe you don't. So at its most basic level, the ratio is a comparison between two numbers. And we insist with it when we can compare two things that we have the same units. So let's do a couple examples because sometimes that just the examples by itself can firm up what we're talking about. If I have two gears and the large one has 64 teeth and the small one has 16 teeth, right? So these maybe they fit together. I'm thinking about like an old-fashioned clock, right? The way the gears work in a clock tower, right? The ratio of teeth in the large to the small is 64 divided by 16. I can simplify this down to 4 over 1. We can also, so this is a ratio. We write it as a fraction. We can also write it this way with this colon in between. This is also the same ratio. So these are two different notations to express the same thing. It's important that we had, we were looking at the number of teeth. So we had the same units, even though that's kind of a weird unit. Let's consider another example where we actually have a more traditional unit. Let's say I have two pulleys. And so maybe it's part of a component here and there's a belt that connects the two. So let's say that the larger one has a diameter of 2 feet and the smaller one has a diameter of 6 inches. I cannot write this as a ratio. I can't write these numbers as a ratio because they are not in the same units. In order to write it as the same units, I have to actually convert into the same units. So I can do that in two ways. I can either convert feet into inches or I can convert inches into feet, either way. 2 feet is equal to 24 inches. So the ratio of the diameters of the larger to the smaller is 24 over 6. Which, it's funny, I picked numbers that happen to work out to be the exact same ratio as the previous example. That doesn't always happen. But this would be the ratio of the diameters of the larger to the smaller. So that is just the most basic level, what ratios are and how to write them. We usually write ratios as whole numbers. We have the 4 to 1 here. There are a couple exceptions. In particular, some applications like compression ratios for engines, I think are often written in decimal form. So a compression ratio will force the second number to be 1 always. And so that first number can sometimes be a decimal. So there's a few different times where it's written in different ways, but that's the most basic. And then we use ratios to solve proportion problems. And that is the topic of the next video. Thank you so much for watching.